Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in today's episode of The Hypnotist, I'm going to be utilizing the random word generators that generate different destinations, emotions, and nouns to create the ingredients for a hypnosis session that I don't know what it's going to be yet. Hence the random nature of this hypnosis session. It's going to be about 15 minutes in length, hopefully very impactful and useful in some way. And as well as this going out on the podcast, it's also going out on YouTube. So you can see me doing the hypnosis session and randomly generating the words from random word generators. So I'm going to go onto that page now. Okay, so the destination is going to be a place called Sidi Bou Said in Tunisia. What it says about this place is that it's a village in Tunisia. The best time to visit is early autumn or spring, before a lot of package tourist begins. You can still walk alone on the narrow streets around white, blue traditional houses, enjoying the views. If you're there during the summer months, it is advisable to visit not just the jam-packed tourist main street, but also the emptier inner parts of the neighborhood. It's empty in the day during Ramadan, probably down to fasting and that kind of stuff. If I look at some of the images about it, yeah, it's very almost kind of like Mediterranean, and obviously, you know, Tunisia is in the Mediterranean, but on the African side, white buildings, lots of blue doors, blue windows, very pretty, very close to the ocean. So it's kind of like an ocean town or a village in this case. And lots of markets, which I think I'm going to use as part of the metaphor for this. The emotion is anger and love. Or the two emotions that have been randomly generated, anger and love. And the nouns are listen, elite, and comedy. Listen, elite, and comedy. Now, I have no idea where this hypnosis session is going to go because it's random. There is no client involved here. It's just me experimenting with how hypnosis can come from kind of random connections and things like that. And it's going to be about 15 minutes. So if you are listening to this from the point of view of experiencing hypnosis rather than anything else, then I would say find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. If you're just listening for more observational purposes, fine, just have it on in the background. But ideally, this is the kind of thing that is good to be experienced rather than just kind of listen to. So find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in, imagine breathing in a feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just enable your body to release tension on your outward breath. If it's safe to do so, take a deep breath in, and then on that outward breath, allow your eyelids to gently relax and close. And in doing so, notice how it's easier to focus your attention from the outside world to my voice and whatever your imagination brings to mind. And isn't it useful to know sometimes just how powerful your imagination can be? Some of your biggest decisions in life have come from how you imagined things to be. And notice, sometimes how you imagined things to be wasn't always exactly how they turned out. And yet, most of the time, things had a way of working out for you rather than against you. I want you to get a sense that your imagination is a conduit, a vehicle, enabling you to access resources and emotions that may be useful for the quality of life that you desire and deserve. But sometimes you may have noticed that some of your best ideas and insights and realizations are when you weren't in your normal life. Perhaps you were on holiday, perhaps on a trip. But when you were away from your normal life, wasn't it the case that you had more clarity, perspective, insight, so that when you returned to reality, things had a way of just getting better? And what if you have the ability to use your imagination to go on a mental vacation? I want you to imagine a globe in front of you, perhaps one of those antique globes that spin on an axis. And I want you to rotate that globe around until you see the continent of Africa. And then I want you to hone your attention in. Hone your attention in to the top of Africa, where Africa meets the Mediterranean Sea. And on that bit of Africa that's closest to Italy, I want you to just imagine, almost like you're moving from your reality into that globe, into that location where that bit of Africa meets the Mediterranean Sea, and then find yourself in a small, tranquil village on the north of Africa, right next to the Mediterranean Sea. I want you to find a quiet beach where no one else is around. And just imagine you can feel your feet on the sand, see the waves gently breaking on the shore, and I want you to get a sense that in doing so, you're able to relax deeper than you have for a very long time. Imagine there's a sun lounger or maybe a large beach towel. Imagine lying down, giving yourself permission to just relax. But not just any type of relaxation. I want you to imagine that you can really listen to your body, not to the sounds that it makes in your pulse or your heart. Listen to that inner dialogue. Listen to tension as if tension was a message from your body that now is the time to just let go of that tension. As you listen to the waves breaking, notice that on your outward breath, you can release that tension now. And in doing so, your body relaxes. And as your body relaxes, your mind becomes more alert, And as your mind becomes more alert, you can notice things you didn't notice before. That somewhere around this beach, that nearby village, a village made of white buildings with blue doors and blue windows, you get a sense of the peacefulness, the escapism of just allowing yourself to relax. Now, that's right. Imagine falling asleep there on that beach and then dreaming that you're somewhere else in the same village. And I want you to imagine somewhere in this village is a traditional Tunisian market. As you look around the market stalls, you can see traders selling their wares. And there's a particular market stall in particular that catches your attention. It has lots of small jars, tubes, glassware, crystals, all with different coloured liquids. You can't understand the writing attached, but the market trader speaks English and lets you know that this is a stall that sells emotions. And you're curious. How can you buy emotions? And the trader explains that when you drink the liquids in these crystal glasses or jars or tubes, you can recall a memory attached to an emotion, and that emotion could be used for you to improve your life in some way. And you can see a deep red liquid, and you're curious, and the market seller informs you that this is anger, and you're curious. How could anger actually improve your life? Why would thinking of a moment that you were angry be useful in any way? And the seller just asks you to keep an open mind, to close your eyes and drink the liquid, and be receptive to an unexpectedly positive outcome. And you drink that deep, dark red liquid, and you do recall a memory where you were angry, full of anger. You're seeing yourself as if you were someone else. And maybe you can recall what it was back then that made you so angry. But something unique is happening in this experience. You are able to become the director of your own memory. And I want you to imagine changing the memory so it becomes funny for you in some way. You're turning this movie of anger into a movie of comedy. And maybe you can imagine funny moments taking place, something random happening, perhaps silly music, maybe putting odd or strange voices coming from the faces that perhaps were being rude or disrespectful. What if some of the main people in that memory started talking like Minnie Mouse or Daffy Duck? What if you could change the proportions of some of their features, giving them a long nose or huge ears like an elephant? Just imagine changing the memory in such a way that you can't help but laugh. Maybe you can make it slapstick, surreal in some way, so exaggerated that it loses all of its power. And maybe you've heard the phrase that one day in the future you'll look back and laugh at this moment. And what if right now it is the time to look back and laugh at that moment? Keep adjusting this movie, this memory, this moment until you can't help but smile, chuckle, laugh to yourself in how what caused such anger originally is now devoid of anger. You've learned the lessons you've needed to. Now it's about stopping it having any more detrimental impact on your life. Some people have said that anger or resentment is like drinking poison and hoping that the other person dies. But when you can laugh at something, it has no power over you anymore. And then suddenly, you open your eyes again, and you're there at that same market stall. The seller has a wry smile, knowing that although you took the potion of anger, suddenly it's become funny for you. Then there is a glowing yellow potion in a glass container, and he informs you that this is love. Again, you close your eyes, you drink that yellow potion, and you're taken back to a memory of when you were deeply in love. And I want you to remember that when you were in that moment, feeling that way, wasn't everything better? That boring things became interesting. That just spending time with this person or in this situation was a pleasure. And what if love has the ability for you to activate yourself at the highest level, at the elite level? And what if love doesn't have to be something that happens to you, but something that you create? Back then, when you were feeling love, you were appreciating and noticing things that perhaps are still there, but you've taken them for granted. I want you to imagine that all the things that you did back then, you have the ability to do again. And the clue is listening to your own body, listening. How did you breathe back then? How did you stand? How did you smile? What was your inner dialogue? Where was your tension? Pay attention and listen to your body, and realizing that this is the recipe of how you can live an elite life. Activating the highest standards, the most pleasure, the most enjoyment, the most meaning from your life, and that truly you can learn to love almost anything. Some people feel the way about animals that other people feel about humans. Some people have so much love for inanimate objects, for flowers, for art. The clues in terms of how do you activate that state of love is simply by listening to yourself, your intuition, your inner dialogue, and listening for where the emotion comes from within you. And then your eyes open there in front of that market stand, and you decide to walk back to that beach where you see a version of you fast asleep there on the beach. Imagine climbing into your body, but you take with you new abilities. the ability to turn anger into something that's comedic, something funny, and the ability to listen to memories of you when you felt the most intense level of love, or in fact any elite resourceful state. So you can duplicate that, replicate that, and plant it as seeds for your future. And then you realize all of this is just a thought within a thought, a dream within a dream, an idea within an idea, and that you are no longer on that village beach there in Tunisia, looking out to the Mediterranean Sea. You are firmly in the present, listening to my voice. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes, get a sense that you're in your own physical body right now. And then, very soon, I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling highly resourceful, with activated resources that enable you to live your life at an elite level. You will listen to your intuition and listen to your body language so that you can replicate those resources that are most useful for you. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.
Thanks for watching the show today. I wasn't quite sure where those words and destinations and nouns were going to take us, but I found that quite useful. I think the metaphor of emotions drunk through potions to access memories that we can learn from hopefully is useful for you in some way. If you got some value from that, drop me a comment as to how it helped in some way. If you have any observations, any thoughts, feel free to put them in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. That would be really useful, just because it helps the YouTube algorithm access a bigger audience. That's really helpful. And if there's any suggestions for any other topics, themes, things that you would like to hear me do for a hypnosis session that might be useful for you, drop in the comments. I'll look at all the comments, and that will give me inspiration for future episodes. So thank you again for supporting the show. Really appreciate that. And yeah, take care. Bye-bye.